Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at Ethereum. If you're enjoying the content, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also have a look at the Discord, it's in the description below. Just check it out, it is free to join. Okay, so let's get into some of the options we're going to be talking about here. We have had this nice move up here, and we're going to be talking about whether we think that there's potential to actually continue to push up with this move into this box area that we have here, or whether actually we could start to break down from here. So we were talking about it in the previous video. Basically, there were some target zones that we were looking for, and if I can just get them on here, there we go. So we have actually, if we zoom out here, come and challenge some of these zones that we had previously here as highs. We also have moved up to that 0.382 of the wave 1 to 3 here. So, you know, there's a couple of zones here that we've actually interacted with. This next one that we'd be looking to the upside would be the 1 to 1 of the wave 1, which would actually be up here at the 1786, and then basically this would also tie in with a retest of this high point. It would also be a test of the bottom of this white box range. So, you know, there is some potential here that we could still look to push up. If we do actually push up even higher, this 2.618 at 1929 could be a target zone. So we're going to discuss what we think is happening internally here, and whether we actually think that this can actually progress here, or whether we're actually starting a breakdown here. Okay, so let's get into the subwaves that we were tracking. So we're going to keep it just down to the 2 counts for now, and then we'll have to see how we sort of progress from there. So basically what we were looking for is whether we were getting some extension in this move. So basically within this structure, we're looking at this as a 1 2 1 2, potentially 3 4 and a 5. So, you know, there is the potential to have an additional 4th and 5th here, though we would need to wait for it to play out, because it is also possible to just count this as a wave 1 2 3 4 5. Sorry, 1 2 1 2 3 4, and then looking for a 5th wave. So, you know, this one is pretty likely in my opinion. The additional one, we'll have to see whether we actually get that play out to the upside. But for the most part, really, until we actually break down past this 1569 and this 1510 zone, these are still valid options. We don't want to lose, we don't want to go too much deeper than we already came here with the 1630. The problem that we have is that the structure at the moment is not great for counting an impulse. The only way we could really do it is looking at this as a 1 2. This potentially is a 1 and looking for another 2 here, and then actually looking to progress to the upside. So the only way this would get confirmed, though, would be looking to actually move up past the 1696. If we actually do look to break up here past the 1796 area, you know, then we can argue that we could potentially be looking for a 5-wave move where this becomes a 1 2 3 5. Then that would actually push us up higher than this 5th wave target area. So we need to just be careful of that. If we do get extensions, we might actually look to push deeper than this zone. It is also possible that, you know, we are looking for the potential of a 5th wave, so it could actually play out. Instead of being a single 5-wave structure, we could see a move play out like this, where we get this is a wave 1, we come back for a 2, we get another 3-wave structure. So looking for a diagonal basically, where this becomes a 1. We look for this potentially. I do think it's likely we could come down a little bit more here, and then look to push up again. But then effectively looking for more 3-wave structures like this, and sort of contracting as we go. That would be looking to take this high and could potentially slowly grind up into this zone that we were looking for. So this is something we could see play out if we do manage to hold some of these lows. Then we could actually look for this progression to the upside. Alternatively, like I said, we could look at this potentially as a 1 2 1 2, but we'd have to move up much higher here. The problem is it is also looking quite corrective. At the moment, all we have is a 3-wave move here. So, you know, there is possibilities that we can potentially look at this as something like a triangle like this that's still developing. And what we'd be looking for then is basically the potential that we could look at this as an A, a B, potentially C, D, and E, if it's going to be a really small triangle. So, you know, we could argue that we have something to this effect, where we have this as an A, a B, C, D, and then we're forming an E wave here. So invalidation of this, as we have it shown here, would be crossing the 1669. It is also possible we're still within the C wave, and then we could still look for this D and this E. So this would be looking for the potential to actually just move range bound here for a bit and sort of just have a more sideways movement. If we do form something like this, this could be a fourth wave move here, and then we actually look to break to the upside from the completion of the triangle. Like I said, however, we can argue that it is smaller. Obviously, these trend lines here are not great anymore, but something to this effect. What we'd be looking for is looking to actually have a move like this, where we've got a smaller triangle in it, where, like I said, that DC and E are actually playing out now here, and this would be actually looking for that E wave to the downside as an A, B, C. So if we do start to progress up from here, we'll have to see how the count goes from there, and then we'll have to just allow for the potential that if we do move up high enough, like I said, if we do move up past this zone of 1796, we could then argue that we have 1 2 1 2, and then we'll have to track those subwaves, but that could actually lead us to push up higher into this box range, and then potentially look to target up towards the top here, or even to move back up into the channel. This is still a possibility. We could actually move back up into this channel and look to retest it. So until we actually start to break down deeper, we need to just be aware of that fact. The other way we're looking at this move is potentially that if we do break down here, instead of looking to break to the upside, we have actually moved up into that rejection zone we were talking about previously. We came up a bit higher than I had anticipated, but effectively we have moved into this. So we can still look for the potential to actually drop down here for a C wave. The other thing we need to be aware of is when we were looking for this potentially as a triangle this way, we can also argue that we could see a triangle develop in the B wave, where this becomes an A, this becomes a B, and then we'd still look to push down. So that target for that wave 2, typically speaking, would be this 1596 down to this 1516. So this would be a zone we're looking out for. The structure at the moment isn't great, like I said. It does look mostly corrective to the upside, so we need to just be aware that we could see another drop down here for the C wave, or alternatively the more bearish option. If we do get a deeper move here, what we could be looking for is extension, where this becomes a 1 2, and then actually we look to push up for a third wave, which would actually look to take us much higher. Typical third wave location would be this 20,076. So that would be where we'd be looking for this retracement here, then potentially looking to come back and check and test this 1862, and then push up again for a fifth. So this is obviously, these are rough areas until we actually get the confirmation on the count, but basically this is what I'm looking out for, this possibility to actually form another leg to the downside here, and then potentially look to form wave 2. It would be quite shallow if it completed into there. We would be looking for that deeper move, but it is possible we can just get a shallow wave 2 here that doesn't quite come down to that 50%, and then actually we look to progress up. So no, this is still on the cards. Like I said, however, we can argue that we have actually moved up into the into a completed fifth wave here. So we can say, if we could be looking for the potential to actually move back down for this B wave, looking to potentially target this zone of this 1448 to this 1192. So this is something we need to be aware of. If this does start to break down here and we start to lose that 50% of that wave 4 and start to actually push down deeper, it becomes more likely that we could see something like this play out, whether this becomes a 5-wave structure for a B, C, as like that, or potentially this could even become a 1 2, and then we actually look to push much deeper into this zone. That 1 to 1 would actually bring us quite nicely. Actually no, it wouldn't. So looking further down here towards some of these zones, the 618 was quite an interesting area, but obviously we've got these high points here sitting at sort of this 1353, and there's a bit of consolidation in this zone lower down here towards this 382. So it could be possible that we actually do see only a shallower correction here if we're looking for that C wave to the upside. But basically what we want to see is whether we actually start to break down here first and then push to the upside. For as long as we hold this low, we could still see extension. It is even possible that we could come back and retest this channel line potentially, where we actually, not in a 5-wave move like this, I wouldn't want to see it play out like this, but if we get a 3-wave structure we potentially we form this as an ABC, we form another correction up, and then we come back down and retest this. This would still actually fit into that narrative of potentially having that extension up. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, I am still expecting a little bit more of a move up. It is possible, like I said, to have a bit of a move down first, but that would be just something that we need to keep an eye on. For as long as we hold this fourth wave location, we could just directly move up here. And we can see here the stochastic on the 1 hour is oversold. The 4 hours low, I think the 8 hours, okay, the 8 hours is still quite high. So, you know, the lower time frames do have that potential to push. So we're gonna have to just give this a bit of space. If this starts to extend out, like I said, the I'd be sort of looking out for this channel top here. Most of the times though, when we do get a fifth wave, if they do interact with the channel, they do break through it. So you have to just be careful of that. Break through it, come back, retest, and then break down. So this is something we just have to keep an eye on as the moves progress to the upside. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. If you did find the video useful, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. In the description below, like I said earlier, there's a link to Discord. Come check it out. It's free to join. Also in the description below, you'll find affiliate links for both BYBIT and PrimeXBT. Check them out. They are great exchanges that we use when we do our trading. If you use the affiliate link, it does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. They do have deposit bonuses, which you can find more information by clicking through the links below and going onto the websites and checking that out. Okay, everyone. Hope you have a great weekend. We'll see you in the next one.